Hello, Soul Tribe. So good to see you. We're having a special reading tonight. So, with me tonight, I have my friend Kyle. We say hi to Kyle. He's a divine masculine in our Soul Tribe. I'm going to get this camera kind of better situated so that we can really come into you guys. Okay. So, tonight, what I want to talk about, I've been wanting Kyle on the channel for a long time. Raymond Richardson, hi. It's so funny. I was just telling him how our masculine in the tribe is growing, and there are more masculine stepping into the spiritual path. Kyle is a perfect example of someone who was forced into the spiritual path in such a way that could have been traumatizing, but he stepped into it wholeheartedly and said, God, I'm ready for it. So I want to talk to him to give guidance not only to our divine masculines out there going through this, because one of the things I was saying earlier is that a lot of the feminines are going through this Me Too movement that is taking control. That is our divine feminines discovering and empowering themselves through their masculine side, for we are all dual. Our divine masculines are going through a spiritual transformation that is drawing upon their feminine, which means feeling it, looking at it, right? So Kyle, one of our brothers in darkness, it's so funny. We pulled this card earlier, brothers in darkness. I said, man, please go live with me. I got a surprise visit tonight. Hi, darlings. Stephanie Goddard. Hey, hey Steph. Awesome. Beautiful. And then the next one, I cut the deck, y'all. No kidding. He was sitting here when it happened. Look at this. Healing the divine masculine. For that makes you stronger. And look at those beautiful eyes of Isis behind you all the way. This is also for our divine feminines. Our divine feminines to stay in your power, stay true to yourself, but understand what your divine masculines are going through. For those of you in separation from your twin flame, for those of you who are looking for your twin flame, for those of you who are wondering what your divine masculine is really going through right now, right? You see the ashes here, but something new being created from what was destroyed, okay? So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about yourself and like a little bit about the transformation you've gone through in the past year.
The past year has been, I was fortunate to have you introduce me to tarot, so I had a friend to step me across that threshold, as I put it, into the spiritual realm, and I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. I remember you telling me, you gotta really ground yourself, you gotta shield yourself from this, and I was like, how do I do that? And so it's been a year of figuring all that out and kind of forging my own path.
What was it like for you as a man being raised, like we live in small town Texas. Kyle and I grew up together. So we've known each other since we're like 11, 12 years old. What was it like for you as a man to suddenly have your construct of reality, what you imagine a man to be, what you're raised to believe a man is, versus what you started to understand within your soul, like that difference in what the world sees a man as and what you were seeing yourself as?
I was fortunate enough, you get this image put on you by society and movies and TV. But I was fortunate enough to have three sisters and a mom, and my father was a truck driver, so he wasn't around much. So I've always been very in touch with my feminine side. But at a young age, I was told, you don't cry, you don't do these things. Over crying over a girl in junior high, and I was really taught not to step into that, and it shows weakness, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. But I went through a program about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago now, and really stepped into that and learned it's all right. And these days I have no problem just shedding tears, and people say, hey, my sister and even my own son will get on to me for crying, and they're like, what's wrong with you?
And how old's your son?
10 years old. So it's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? I'm like, nothing's wrong. I'm actually very happy. It's just I'll cry when I'm happy. Very in touch with my emotions, empath, open channel. I feel a lot of others' emotions as well. So sometimes it's not even mine.
Right,
Just,
which is what we talk about, right? All the time as empaths, how difficult that can be for us. Sorry, I actually want this to be able to be a bit of a Q&A so everybody has a chance to ask their questions, because I know that this has been really confusing for people. Same here, Kyle. Raymond said, awesome, awesome. Okay, so just a bigger support crew. That's my story, and better boundaries with people too. Do you feel like you have better boundaries with people now that you've been discovering this in yourself?
right. Well, I got real into meditation, and I learned how to build my shield and do those things, and I really noticed a difference. And just for me, chanting mantras is a big thing. It's like my guides were leading me to do these things, and it's like been a process of me discovering what they've had me been doing. So it's really been interesting to the path they've got me on, and
Yeah.
just building those boundaries. And that's one thing I've always let. Well, my relationships, it's like one time I'll find out I'll be real assertive, and the next time I'm real passive, and it's like finding that medium, that boundary, that razor's edge, just learning when to be assertive and learning when to be passive, and let things just kind of go off your shoulders.
I've been going through that too.
Stand for yourself.
Yeah, finding that middle ground.
The medium.
Absolutely.
The middle way, as they would like to say.
Even when you do yoga, they teach you about finding that center, finding that center within your chakras, within your alignment. Can you guys can you guys hear my dog back here like chewing on her toy? I hope that's not too distracting for the sound barrier right now. Okay, so let's talk about what kind of questions for not only for my divine masculines out there, but for my divine feminines who might have questions about what divine masculines are going through. Because here's kind of what I'm seeing, okay? I'm seeing that people I'm very much involved in the Me Too movement. I'm very much about the empowerment of women, but I think that we're kind of forgetting about our beautiful brothers, and we're leaving them behind in the darkness out there. Okay, because we've sort of changed the world on them and not told them the rules, right? Not that any of us know the rules. We don't have a manual, but it can be a little bit scary when you're going through that alone, which I don't know. I kind of feel you have to go through alone.
Right. Well, there's a big thing, women, we're coming into that age where women's are going to be, what is it? Patriarchy is coming to an end. It's time for matriarchy. Women have the rights. They deserve to be worshipped and stuff like that. I wouldn't like to say worship in a sense like you would worship a god or something,
but they spend a lot of time buried.
Right.
And now it's time for that feminine to rise back up and to show the world about love, right?
At the same time, the men got to step back, and when you have society portraying that you got to be the strong male and be assertive, when do you know when to step back and let your woman take control? Or not? I don't even like the word control. It's
right. No, it's hard to find the words to.
Right, that happy medium.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a give and take, just like society.
Hey, Cassie, good to see you, sister. I'd get spanked if I cried. I was raised with 3 boys. I feel your pain.
You got choked.
Oh, and got choked up. Yeah, a lot of us were taught that weakness. And the worst part was our parents thought they were making us stronger. That's the worst part.
Right.
Like, to them, discipline is love, which it is.
Yeah.
Which it is.
I still got to work on my inner child a lot, and going back. And right now, that's what I'm doing. Going a lot within and trying to recall those memories that I've suppressed from when I was a child and when I was hurt. I was abducted, and I don't know how many of y'all are into the cosmic and aliens and stuff.
Doesn't really matter.
But yeah, so
doesn't really matter.
Mind wiped, trying to recall it, and just face those things, face those issues that I've repressed and suppressed and haven't wanted to face. And now it's like time to face them and just own them up. I'm right. I'm looking at that ugliness and just saying, all right, that might have been then, but that isn't now. You know, there's a lot of good that can come from it too. We tend to realize, see things as totally bad, but really it's just lessons learned. Did you learn your lesson from that?
And
I
how
don't
it's
like
affecting your life now, right?
um,
Like all of those suppressions, how it's affecting your current cycles and how it keeps looping you.
looking in the
You know
circles.
what I
Right,
mean?
right. Now, we
Discovering
were
those.
talking about that earlier, and facing past lives and realizing the cycles we're on, where one time we're the abuser, one time we're abused, and it kind of goes back and forth, and until you learn your lesson, you keep repeating it. It's just
Yeah, not just on a micro level in this lifetime, but in multiple lifetimes. You're gonna keep fighting through it, and you're gonna have to see every perspective of it, which means you're gonna have to be the one murdered and the one that's the murderer. You're gonna have to be the one committing the evil and the one receiving, so that you can truly learn every facet and every perspective of said lesson. If that makes sense. Okay. Beautiful. What do we got going on here? Okay. Are you, I don't know what you're talking about, Clark, but who's she? Are you talking about me? Um
maybe
okay.
it's my long hair.
Yeah, what's she going through? Is
Big
she
woman.
up in her fields? That's what I'm thinking. Is she around 30ish and bet her body clock ticking? What are you? Okay. Do we have any moderators? Maybe we could take care of that. Unless I'm misunderstanding something here, I don't think that's appropriate. Okay, beautiful, Kristen. Welcome to the reading. Okay, so a lot about what I want to delve in here today is some of our masculines are feeling lost. For those of you just tuning in, okay, going within. And how funny is this? I actually shuffled these just before. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, and we have the King of Cups in reverse. Okay, right here, the King of Cups, he's going through his feels. The Queen of Swords, this is very much a female getting in touch with her masculine side, with her control side. Okay, getting in touch with her inner wisdom. After that, downloads. Okay, and this is so beautiful. After that, look at the yin yang, the masculine, feminine. He holds in his hands, right, waiting for the ships to come in. We're going through a huge shift right now. And when, imagine two fault lines, that's what they keep showing me, two fault lines. When an earthquake happens, it's detrimental, but the fault lines do settle. That it has to happen. We are not exactly in the same place right now. Our brothers in darkness, right? Our brothers in darkness and our feminines, stay true and be in your power. Okay, the brothers are being softened as the feminines are being pushed, strengthened, pushed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the brothers being made malleable, which is actually stronger if you think of a river, right? The brothers being made. Think of a bridge. A lot of people don't know this, but every bridge has to sway. Every bridge has to have movement. It makes it stronger. If you have a bridge that has no movement, it will collapse. Right. That is our masculines right now, getting that malleable sway within them, as our feminines are getting that structure and that strength within them, that bar of strength. So we're not so floopy.
Well, I knew I was down the street at the health food store over here, and I was talking about how I need to really step into my masculinity and step more into that. And she was like, well, I think you crying and being able to step into those emotions is what a man should look like. And
exactly.
I was just like,
that is
brought
the
me
strength.
tears in itself. And I was just like, I needed to hear that right then, you know? And it's like, who's to say a man doesn't cry? Who's to say a man has to can't be emotional?
In this day and age, that is stronger.
Right.
That's stronger today than it would be to hold it all in. I don't think I have these on. It keeps on going out. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Clark. He was asking about his twin flame, feeling a bit lost also. I had to watch. Thank you so much, Kyle. You don't know how much this means to us feminines. Misty Boo, I need your help. The love of my life was murdered 2 years ago. I have been told by tarot that he can't find the light, that he needs me to lead him to the light. How do I do that? Okay, that's gonna have to be a private email, darling. That's a whole different energy. I want to try to stick to collective healing right now. Okay. I understand and appreciate your question. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to push you to the wayside, but email me, and I'll also forward it to Kyle, and he can meditate on it as well. Okay. All right. So some of the things for the divine masculines that are currently in my tribe that I'm seeing a lot coming out for. One thing I'm noticing is that many of you are going to have to understand that for a while you're going to have to detach from what is currently in your life, right? Mm-hmm. So in the beginning of your transformation, especially getting in touch with that side of yourself, you're just going to have to detach for a while to some of your normal friends, some of your, what you're doing. Tell them why a little bit. Yeah, right. A lot of it's toxic, but some of it you can come back around to once you've kind of reconstructed your ideal of what the world is like now, your new perspective, and letting that settle.
And it's very hard. I mean, I believe we all came down here and we set our past before us, and fortunate I was in a situation where I was able to provide that solitude to be able to go within. But what does somebody do when they don't have that? I mean, it's a little more difficult. You gotta, I would say make
kids,
the time, right? You know what I mean, right? And
work.
It's just sometimes I know I hear that a lot. I don't have that time to go and meditate or find the time to go. I gotta go, and I can't speak too much, but that until you make that time to actually do it, the universe will eventually
force you into it. Those are those tower moments, right? Yeah. That can. It's up to you. These tower moments can be they can be downloads.
And maybe sometimes it's saying, okay, you're going to have to tell this person no, or I have to have this time for me, for myself. Or, I got to the point where I had panic attacks with the next partner. It's like just the mental abuse that was actually happening. It forced me into panic attacks. And then the universe, I guess, didn't like that and pushed them out of my life. So it's, when you're on a different vibrational frequency, it's like the magnetic pull or push, it'll push them out of your life or it'll pull them to you. So it's being flexible. And
a lot of times I think that it's the universe. It's not even so much about the universe not liking it. It's finally that your soul stood up and said, I don't like it, and therefore the universe responded for you because you weren't strong enough to do so for yourself at that time. Right. Your higher self called the universe in to make different changes. And some of the stuff that he went through is almost like you don't even see it in movies, y'all. It's pretty. They were pretty rough. I like to say they were pretty rough with Kyle whenever they were trying to wake him up. But there's a reason, because you have such a strong gift.
Yeah. It wouldn't have ever pushed me in it, and sometimes
she can feel his energy, and she's just like, "Are you okay? I feel you."
It's okay, baby. It's okay. Yeah. So if you're not able to do that, sometimes the strong negative gives you that push into that, and it causes that.
So how long ago was yours? Raymond Richardson says, my spiritual awakening began about 6 months ago.
Ooh, yeah. How long ago was mine? Mm-hmm. Well, mine started in 2012 when I went through a program and got saved. Yes. And it's been a long journey working out. What I realize now, stepping into past lives, was just a lot of religious stigmatism just kind of attached to me through DNA and all kinds of stuff. I wasn't raised in the church by any means, but now looking at past lives and understanding that, you can see how it's all attached to you. And so, it took me a long time to even step into tarot cards. Like, I bought books like a couple years before
I introduced
you came into my life
to tarot.
If it wasn't for
I moved back into town and
stepped into it. So. And then once that happened, I had spirits, I had ascended masters coming to me, I had alien collectives coming to me, and it was like, oh, okay, he's on board. We see that. And it was just...
And they want to be a part of that path.
Non-stop flooding me at night. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. It was
huge downloads.
Yes, huge downloads. And it was realizing it was even real. And it finally came to a point where I had to, you got to stand up to yourself with these energies that come in. You got to understand you're the power, you're the source. They're using you. They want you to be a vessel for them.
Yes.
And you got to understand, and you got to put your foot down and be like, all right, this I can do, this I can't, you know. And you gotta be able to put your foot down and say, hey, this is too much for me right now. Maybe I'll get there. I mean, I had 4 different collectives come to me, and it was like, all right. And the Syrian energy, I don't know if anybody's into that, but it's a fast-paced moving energy, and I'm originally Arcturian, and it's just slow-paced creative energy that takes a long time to process and do. And it's like those two things coming together, it can really cause a shift in you, and it's.
She's
I
trying to
told
say no
them,
one knows what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding.
oh, I got
No,
you.
he can kind of like, he has a view of the universe that many of us don't. Okay. So me and Kyle, no kidding, we can sit here and go down the rabbit hole, and you guys will have a lot of fun, but you may get lost a few times. And I do too. But he has an unadulterated view of the universe that many of us don't have a blessing to see. Um, I want to get to, hold on just a second here. Kristen Luna says, I feel like I'm rebuilding on an emotional level too right now. It's hard, but standing as strong as I can. And that's also about building that floor, right?
Mhm.
That emotional foundation where it has to be deconstructed before you can rebuild it without the preconceived notions that you had. What we were just talking about earlier, like men can't cry.
Right.
You know, these preconceived notions and how many areas of your life it's affecting.
And also stepping into that emotional, what is causing that into you? You know what I mean? And sometimes you think it's the situation happening right there, but maybe it's something from a long time ago in the past that's you're not seeing the situation clearly, and it's an emotion that is a suppressed emotion from a childhood trauma, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe a previous relationship trauma that's manifesting that way, and that's how you see it right then. So I mean, making sure you get clear communication is the toughest. I mean, I struggle with that myself, and
Clear communication
with whoever you're talking to or whatever person it is. I mean, because my emotions are all over the place, and sometimes, like I said, if you're an empath and you walk into a building, you feel all those emotions, and they're not even yours. But if you're not aware of that,
you think they're your own.
You think
You
they're
own
your own,
them.
and you own them, and then they are yours at that point. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, how many of you have gone through that and understanding that some of your reactions were simply from taking on the emotions of other people in the room, of other people you were currently dealing with? You know, it's just like with your last relationship, the traumatizing one.
yeah,
That one, no, like all of them, but with your last relationship and how much you were reacting to her is her
yeah,
subconscious.
I'll just get into it. She left me for my best friend and neighbor, and it was just like, not only was it my best friend, so we had a strong connection. It was also
His next door neighbor.
my twin flame. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
those
yeah.
two energies right next door to me for 2 years of.
So she left him and moved in with the man next door to him for 2 years, and this is someone you were with for how long?
Right.
You were with her for
only a year, but I mean, once you have a connection, it's not really about time.
No,
When you've
it's
had
not.
those strong connections, and I mean, I don't want to get into too sexually, but I mean, I could feel her from a distance, and it was like from a state away, and it was supernatural, and I knew there was something here I'd never experienced with anyone else, and I knew it was legit. And I mean, I went into it. I thought this was the one, and I took the abuse after she left because I thought, hey, I'll never find another one like this. This will never happen again. But I gave it time, and it passed, and I realized, oh, it can exist with somebody else. It's not. It's more about, because I wasn't owning who I was at that person in that relationship. And because if I did, it would have pushed her out of my life, which obviously it happened anyway. So, I mean, just taking time to be yourself, because if you don't, you become someone else.
You're gonna have to push her down, Kyle. I know you don't want to.
It's a little on you,
Get down.
baby.
Get down. Get down. You have to help me. Get her down. Down. Get down. Good girl. Lay down. So, for those of you currently either going through some of this, okay. Raymond Richardson says yes, he's definitely resonating. I'm on the Clark Road says I'm on the bus for this ride. Been on this bus for years. It's a ride, all right. I was 8 years old when I really saw the light, and oh, it was bright. Awesome, beautiful, brother. That's awesome. Clark Road says, yeah, it's a big deal. That's why I asked before about my twin flame. I feel her all the time. Can't make it go away. Now, he actually has a lot more experience in this than I do. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Like physically feeling?
Clark, he says, just can't feel her in the third. Wish I had that part.
Yeah.
But I think that more like when you're feeling either masculine or feminine, I think when you're feeling your twin flame out there, but you don't have access to them. How you work through that and deal with that. Because I've seen you go through it.
Right.
And I've literally seen it.
I still go
I've
through
seen
it.
him like, oh my God, it destroys, because he's so in touch. He really is. He's so magically in touch, and he has gifts that I intentionally block because I'm not courageous enough to feel what he is courageous enough to feel. Okay. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's just owning yourself, and I can't stress this enough. The I am you and you are me. So she's another reflection of me. All of you are another reflection of me. Y'all are just mirrors I'm reflecting off of. So really, this is me having a communication with myself. And so, I mean, if they're communicating with you like that, really go within yourself and say, how does this relate to me? What does this speak to me? How can I benefit? Because, I mean, try as you may, that sometimes I've been blocked, I've been kicked off. It's just like, so at that point, it's like I can't control the situation. What can I control? I can control myself, my thoughts, my actions.
And my energy.
My energy field. And it's like, so center yourself. I mean, I don't know if you practice meditation. I mean, that's what I found that's worked for me.
And you began a lot with walking meditation. Walking meditation, especially for divine masculines, I feel is very helpful. He came in today.
Barefoot.
He came in today with no shoes. He wasn't even wearing shoes. He showed up like a hobo at my door. I was like, where are your shoes
I'm an open channel, so I have a real problem grounding. I mean, my root and sacral chakras are the ones I struggle with the most, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go places, and I'm like, y'all make me put my shoes on if I need to put my shoes on, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, I gotta work on my grounding. I gotta take Epsom salts baths. I gotta
Eric Johnson says exactly, and they're saying that's deep. They're vibing with you on that. What you were saying about the mirror reflection, I think. A lot of that. Clark says, road is marked. Delta Navy SEAL, which that world ripped me away from my twin flame. I understand, brother. I was in the military as well. Thank you for sharing, Kyle. Working on meditation currently. Love and light to you both. Okay, so meditation tips. He's got some good ones.
I was gonna say, if you have any issues with meditating like me, I'm ADD, so my mind's all over the place.
Whatever you want to call it, whatever label I've got.
Right. And it took me last year to see it as a good thing once I realized what it really is.
Exactly.
These are gifts, you know what I mean? These were gifts bestowed, and we chose these things to put on ourselves. And it's just, but what helps with me with meditation. Which is what we
talked about in the live reading today, y'all.
Silent meditation is really difficult. I mean, if you can do 5 minutes at first, or 2 to 3, whatever you can do is fine.
Counting to 10 for some people.
Right.
Really breathing 10 breaths.
Counting your breath. That I can't stress that enough. Counting your breath. And that'll take your mind off of things, because you're literally counting your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out. I mean, whatever kind of count rotation you want to use. But also chanting for me really works, because I'm not really thinking about anything, but where that vibration is happening. So, and if you need to, if your mind starts racing, there's a
Do you
really
have a
good
good
one.
beginner chant
Uh,
for people?
I
Yeah,
was gonna
racing
say,
mind.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say, if your mind's racing and you're like, I can't stop thinking about this, I start really high, try to get my crown, and just and bring it down to that
The dog
root.
just freaked.
And once you can do that, I mean, you might have to do it 3 to 5 times, and you'll start rooting yourself, and then you just take some good long breaths and be like, all right, is that real? What can I do about this? If there's nothing you can do about it, I mean, you're treading water. I mean, you know what I mean? If you're just gonna, sometimes it's hard. I mean, I know I've been there, man. And I still am there at times, and because I had an episode today. I mean, and it's a constant struggle. If you ever think you're gonna overcome it, it's really trying to show you yourself is what it's trying to do.
Raymond said, Kyle, are you a Pisces or Gemini? Which I understand, but he's actually a Virgo like me.
I'm on the Libra cusp.
He is on the Libra cusp, so there's some air for you.
Hey,
But he has a very watery energy to him. But yes, I can see that Gemini because he's got that analytical mind. He definitely, that's the Virgo and Libra coming out with him. And then we also have here, Clark Road walking meditation works well. I agree, especially for a lot of people who are new at meditation. Look up and research walking meditation. This is a very slow pace. Kyle even has like this interesting like maze thing that he walks in to just kind of like keep him, in that zone out state.
I remember when we first started, she's like, you walk so slow, but she's in the army cadence, and I'm like, where are you going so fast, with your backpack that's sticking over your head, and I'm just like, just slow down, walking meditation, just breathe, enjoy life. But I mean, it kind of trains you that way,
Yes,
I mean?
exactly. So, preconditionings, right? Preconditionings to that. So true. We have a couple here. Okay, so I struggle so much with meditation. I keep hearing about breath work. Absolutely. Breath work is so important. And it's irritating, but it's so beneficial. It's working through that irritation.
And you start
that's where the gold is. Oh, that's where the gold is. That's where the gold is. You will. Cool, yeah. You will. That's when those gifts will wake up.
Cracks open.
Phoenix Lotus. This is the friend I wanted you to meet. I want you to meet Phoenix Lotus. You guys are like very much on the same path. Your sons are even like close to the same age. You're both single fathers. You're both shamans. You're both shamans that need a guru. I mean, I really, you guys are like brothers from another mother. Seriously, it's insane. At first, I thought Phoenix Lotus was you with your handle was Phoenix Lotus. I really did. I did. Phoenix Lotus. I thought you were Kyle whenever I first saw you coming up on here a couple months back or a year back or however long. And I was like, oh, that's fucking Kyle. And, yeah, sure. So, okay, I had another question up here. Okay, Virgo. No, it was up here.
Oh, it was 3:30.
I know, right?
No, it's 23.
Okay, I did have another one. I missed out on it. I saw another question. I missed it.
Oh.
Oh, message retracted. That's why. Okay, cool. That's fine. Okay. Cool. Good to see you. Yeah, you two, I would love to send you each other's numbers because you're on the same exact path, and I feel like this is why I wanted to have them on the channel. I feel like there's so many masculines right now that just, I mean,
it's hard to find them in my area.
You can't get on Facebook without seeing Sisters in Power. Yeah. Where's your crown? Fix your crown. But masculines don't have that right now.
It's hard for me to find another man. I mean, most of the women I can talk to, they're just women. I mean, I'm starting
to talk to you about this stuff.
Right. So, but it's me getting myself out there, pulling myself out of solid.
Because you're a pioneer, though, to lead other men. And that's what I've been saying to you, Phoenix Lotus. If you're attracted to this channel and you are a divine masculine, male or female, and you're a divine masculine and you're going through this right now, this brother in darkness, you're going to feel very alone because this is the new movement coming up. Just like the feminines, divine feminines were feeling alone a couple decades ago when they were rising up. They were the pioneers. Okay. You are pioneers to lead the other brothers. Now you're noticing some of the brothers that you never would have thought coming out of the woodworks, like, hey man, I kind of know what you're talking about, or I kind of have some questions about this.
Right.
You know, I've been feeling like this. People seeing the light that never were before. And in small town Texas, it's pretty amazing to see people transform, especially men.
Right.
You know, we live in a very small town. Like, this was the last city in Texas to integrate, right? Isn't that what you say?
Oh yeah.
Integrate, yeah. So when blacks and whites were going to school, we were the last city in
shut off the electricity to Mansfield School.
They shut off the electricity to the high school we went to.
Black Like Me is a book that let us read here. So.
Yeah. So we were born in a city that had a lot of that kind of segregation. He is a pioneer. I truly believe that. I also believe I'm a pioneer in some of this stuff. But what you're going through, I think, is going to be so helpful to brothers out there in Phoenix, Lotus, in your area. You know, this is going to be very communal. This is going to be about, it's going to start in your area, lighting a fire in your area. Lighting a fire. What does a tribe do? They light a fire. Light a fire for your tribe to call them forth. Okay, light it from your soul.
I was going to say, that's what I was about to go. I was like, just remember that it always comes from within. Everything without is a reflection of that within. So just continue going within, doing the work on yourself, and that those others will start coming and will start bringing. But I know from myself, I've had to put myself out there too. So yeah. I mean, and I'm just now starting to get comfortable talking to my family about a bunch of this stuff, and it's just like, hey, whatever, I gotta speak my truth. And I've been suppressed long enough by people not agreeing with me that it's time to take the handlebars off what do you call it?
Yes, absolutely.
And just be who I am, you know what I mean? And you know, not a lot of people are gonna, and not a lot of people are gonna agree with it, and that's okay. But since I'm so sensitive, I've always wanted people to view me a certain way, and if they didn't, I try to fit their mold. I was always the chameleon. Mm-hmm. That was one of my spirit animals, is just blend into the places I'm at, so I'm not as noticed, or I look like I'm fitting in. Mm-hmm. Instead of being that, as one of my healers said recently, the black piece of pepper in a salt shaker. You know, that's me. Everywhere I go, I stand out. It doesn't matter if it's the spiritual community or the non-spiritual community, because I always try to show that other side, because there's always two perspectives, and there's not a right or wrong, there just is, you know. Yeah. And that's just the truth of the matter. So I mean, we are the creators of our own reality, and it's like whatever you choose to see, that's the way you see it, and you can't force it on somebody else, you know what I mean, but you got to be able to own your own stuff too. So, I mean, if they choose not to see something a certain way, that's the reality they're creating. And you got to respect that enough to be like, okay, that's not the world I'm looking for, and that's not the world I see. But I respect yours, and rock on.
I just thought of that Collective Soul song.
That's what I was like. I was like, there's a song playing, but I couldn't think of it.
The World I Know, or whatever it is. Yeah, The World I Know. Kyle plays some awesome guitar too, you guys. He also made me some runes. Brought him in a Crown Royal bag since he knows me so well.
Blessed with Sage.
Yeah, Blessed with Sage. He handmade them. I know. And so I'm very excited. So we're going to do, if you guys are interested, please let me know. We're going to do a rune video to kind of talk about these a little bit, and he's going to be teaching me runes, and I thought it'd be a really good experience to maybe you guys could learn something too. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know.
Any divination.
Does he sell them? Actually, we were just talking about that, and he said yes, he would probably make them more refined. This is for me, these are personal. But yes, he does sell them. He needs we need probably about a week turnover on sales, because he hand makes them, he blesses them individually, and he puts intention and frequency into each one.
No sacrifices. I gave up meat, so I'm not gonna go sacrifice any animals or anything that for Odin or Freya.
That was an old past life. You're done with all that.
Hey, no, man, I'm Berserker Bjorn. It's one of my songs.
Yeah, this is Berserker Bjorn. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? Do we have any other questions? Yes, interested in the rooms. Gypsy Rose, awesome. I am too. I'm very interested in them. I've had a few. I've read a few books. I've done some research, but I've never really like. He's really
The
getting me into.
symbols. You start once you get into them, you'll see them everywhere you go. I can't walk around the street without seeing tear in the ground. You know, the spiritual world just everywhere I go, they're speaking to me. I'm real big into nature, so I'll see the animal spirits. I see a crow pass by. I'm like, what does that mean? What direction's he flying? So just being very aware of your surroundings, and I mean, Source speaks to you through everything and anything. I mean, don't let it. It can speak to me to, any cartoon my son's watching, or I see you playing with the cards. I'm interested.
Well, as I know,
That's the
ADD. That's what we were
macabre right
talking
there.
about. ADD.
Yeah.
Well, these are
Don't
all.
play with the Merkaba.
So keep on talking. I was just gonna pull a couple of numerology cards for our soul tribe out there, because we're here. We must pull. We have to. Okay. 8 all day, every day. Yeah, I hear you. I've been on 8s nonstop recently. That's part of the reason I did 744. Do you use a pendulum?
Yes.
Yes.
Lapis lazuli.
We just pulled that card earlier too. Lapis
Stone of the
lazuli.
gods.
Yeah. Earlier,
Viking.
I gave him a set of these astrology reading cards. These are below if you want them. They're really cool. For just the basic, like beginner understanding of astrology, you can pull one of these a day and have a whole new understanding of the universe. So these are awesome. They're at the bottom. But I gave him one of these.
You could also do it with meditation. Pull your card, look at it. Just ask Source, hey, what is this card trying to speak to me?
To me,
it's all about
absolutely. To my spirit, what do I need to know about this card? What do I need to know to understand? Because you already have what you can find on Google.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this is about what can you learn about this card, right?
And that's what I love about intuitive reading too, is because it's like the symbolism and the images on there. It's like it might mean something to you that it doesn't mean to anybody else.
Or that card with that card with that card means something totally different.
There is no right or wrong in this. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing I've been shown in all this is it's just how Source speaks to you. Because you're unique. You're your own spark.
Absolutely.
You came here to experience yourself and your own unique consciousness. It's got individuality.
See, and you know what this is? This isn't magic. Just like the runes aren't magic, it is frequency. And he's sitting here speaking. We are all energy. These cards are energy. This table, this couch is energy. Everything is energy. So as he's speaking, I'm allowing the right energy to come through my hands, right? And my energy is aligning with his. 11, individuality. And this is about twin flame. This is about divine masculine, divine feminine. Okay? Taking love out of the equation, the divine masculine and feminine are the twin flame. We need to remember to help each other on this journey, to help our brothers, to help our sisters, okay? To be patient, for their journey is different than yours right now, okay? But 2020 is about coming back into alignment. Okay, so this past year of 19 was about really pushing up those of us who have been struggling against absorbing our masculine or feminine qualities or sides that we needed to explore. 2017, 18, 19. You are awful. You're awful. And I'm going to yell as soon as I get off this video. She has just got his water and just tore up the cup and everything, and we missed it. But that's what's happening. So, through individuality, this bond becomes stronger. Through us each individually preparing ourselves, this bond becomes stronger. But understanding and having absolute compassion for what the other is going through.
Right.
For him to understand that not just me, but all of the divine feminines out there are going through an empowering moment right now that is very important for us. And to support that is to be strong, to be my root right now is what I need. For us to understand that he is going through something that is melting him, something that is completely tearing apart his soul and rebuilding it in a way that is more gentle, right? This is a time when he needs to be cradled. He needs to be held. He needs to be loved. Okay? So where he needs to be our root, and I don't mean him individually or me, I'm talking about divine feminine, divine masculine, no matter your sex, where divine masculine needs to be our root right now just to support our growth, right? Let us grow on our own. Just support us. Yeah, give us a root and space. Yeah, just give us.
Sometimes that's all they need.
Base and space. Base and space. Just give us a nice, strong root and allow us to grow. And if we could just love them through the pain of shedding some of these pre-constructed ideals, right? These things that they have been told since they were born, since they were given a GI Joe and said, "Be tough now, do it."
Does it have kung fu grit?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
The big dolls.
Raymond said, "Kyle, I could talk to you for hours. Val, thanks for sharing your friend with the tribe." Yes, he is such an inspiring soul, you guys. Awesome, Gypsy Rose. Glad you guys got something out of it. Yeah, Clark Road, you're gonna have to stop with those kind of comments, okay, dear? It's just not what is soothing us here. It's not in the right energy. Moderators, where are you guys? Big Facts Brother, awesome. So glad, Tico. Awesome that you got something out of it. Eric, that was deep what he just said. I'm assuming, yeah. Phoenix Lotus, I've been feeling something too. Been wanting to tell you. Awesome. Abundance intention to you all. Just got back. I love how you refer a source. Raymond likes how you refer a source. Raymond, if you want to email me, go to my About tab, and I will forward your email to Kyle. Is that okay with you?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So any of my divine masculines out there who are looking for just someone to, holy crap, can I connect with any other divine masculine out there that's going through a little bit of what I'm going through?
I need that, guys.
He needs it as much as you do.
Y'all are going to teach me more than I could ever show you, probably.
So let's start a tribe, and we could even get a private Facebook page going for you guys that's just divine masculines, where you guys can really just open up and talk about stuff. We could do something like that. That's very easy to do.
Like I said, they're all mirrors, man. We're reflecting and learning off of each other, and it's like when someone's suffering, it's ultimately me suffering, and it's like, what can I do? Can you provide that space? Can you get there? Can you give them? Sometimes you gotta let them be there to suffer. Sometimes you're there to give them a hand, and then, but it's only in that interplay that you figure out which one it is. Sometimes, it's not this working, so let's try this, and then there's a medium, and then it's like sometimes you gotta realize, hey, I gotta cut this tie, right? And I gotta let this go. I mean, I love you, but I'm gonna have to love you from a distance, and that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, how do you even begin that?
How do you begin it?
Yeah,
that's tough for me to say because it's usually the other way around for me. So, but I realize, and that's my thing, is I understand where they're coming from. Like I said, their perspective's not wrong. I mean, I have a tendency to push the women out of my life. I'm too much until I can't provide them that space, because it's like the more I try to pull them in, the more space they seem to need, and it's just like, and then it's almost like I give them too much space, and it's like then they kind of wonder, where is he? I guess, where is he even there anymore?
Lose interest.
Right. Well, it's like that's my thing, is a middle ground. I haven't found that middle ground, so I couldn't tell you yet. It's like somebody meet me in the middle. It's either too much or not enough.
Well, maybe
give and take, give and play.
Maybe it's something about trying to go within and find out it's not just your middle ground, but trying to make something fit.
Right. Yeah, it's timing. It's about timing too, divine timing. Sometimes that was my thing, what we were talking about earlier, where it's like they show you something but it's not time yet, but they show you because you can deal with it, you can see it, you can handle. They know that it's you gotta know it's coming, but how it comes or where it comes, the harder you force it, the less likely it's gonna come. And when you can sit back and be still and know, as they like this. The book, good books likes to say, but
Be still and know.
it's not easy. I can tell you that.
No, it's not. Okay, guys, the puppy has got to go out. Do we have any other questions right now that anybody would like to ask about not only their divine masculine's journey, but about if you are on the divine masculine journey, what you're wanting to ask? I lost my kyanite and it's sad. Raymond, lapis is a wonderful energy. That's what he is saying as well. Especially for divine masculines, lapis. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
What's that?
Lapis lazuli, like so that people can have a better understanding from your point of view on how it's helped you.
I've gotten. It's funny. So when it came into me, I wanted it for a while. I studied and heard it was a stone of the gods, but I was actually in meditation.
Yeah, talk about what it is so that they can. Some people don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, I to be honest, I feel like I'm on the spot, so.
Oh, okay. He doesn't want to talk about it. It's okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. And we talked about that earlier. I was like, if I ask any questions where it's like maybe you shouldn't answer that, but
it's like once I don't know.
You don't want to put words on it, but you're not. Yeah. I have lapis lazuli and blue kyanite on my body all the time.
I got my malachite and tiger's eye.
Phoenix Lotus said, I've been told I was too much. This is awesome. So much to learn. Eric, yeah, so it is. It's eternal transformations. Right? It's eternally transforming. And that's what we're here for. How exciting is that?
I was telling
How exciting is that?
10 books at home and different things I'm into. Like I said, I'm ADD, so a lot of people I tell that and they're like, I was like, well, it's maybe one chapter of this book a day and it might not come up again for another month, but it's kind of what I'm feeling in that moment.
Yes. Tico says lapis lazuli really helps with angelic connection. Highly recommend.
That's what I was gonna say. I was in meditation and Zacchaeus came to me and he told me to go get lapis, so I went and got it. And
so you're just following your intuition.
I'm following my intuition, listening to my guides, my angels, my masters, and
I'm gonna put these books in the bottom. So Kyle, these are 2 books that he has given to me. Just started this one. Jesus and the Essenes, highly recommended. This is an awesome book. You will get so much wisdom out of this book. Jesus and the Essenes by Dolores Cannon. I'm going to put this, it's not in there yet, but what?
I was going to say she is the shiznit, but I was going to
Dolores, yeah, she really is. She's amazing. I've been reading a lot of
She was one of the first ones that came to me when one of the Ascended Masters.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That came to me. I guess because I watched your videos all the time, I could hear your voice and literally see her.
You connected with her.
Right.
Yeah.
So any of her books.
She is awesome. I'm going to put this. I'm going to go put it in the community tab. I'm going to put a post so that you guys... Phoenix Lotus loves Dolores too. I told y'all we're the same person. It's really weird. Okay, and then the other one...
Lives, I think it was. That was my
Life Between Lives. I haven't read it, but I've heard of it. Taking Up the Runes. Okay. I'm going to put both of these books right here. I'll put them down below, but I'm also going to put them in the community tab for you. He is always a wealth of knowledge when it comes to books. Some of the books that he's given me.
That story was amazing.
Some of the books he's given me have changed my life and given me downloads that were you couldn't have got. They were mind blowing. So you guys will really like them. I've been wanting to learn runes, Phoenix. I definitely feel that for you. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys both each other's numbers, shoot each other a text, start the conversation. You both need support in the same way. You're very ascended and you're both pioneers, and maybe sharing your experience and I feel like you're both going to be, and many of you out there, if you're attracted to this channel, please take this to heart. If you are a divine masculine out there, attracted to what I'm saying, you're a pioneer in the divine masculine, I'm sorry, they're showing me something, blossoming. So our divine feminines are rising, growing. Our divine masculines are blossoming. You have to be a pioneer in that. There are others who will be looking to you very soon. So this means walking through that ugly. This means really, for a lot of my divine masculines, having to allow people to see the real you. Okay, many of you have been masked for a long time, right?
Yes, it's very important. I mean, I can tell you myself, it's been very difficult to be myself, but thankfully I'm stepping into it. So, and it's tough. I mean, especially when your family's used to you being a certain way your whole life, or it's the ones closest to you that
yes, because I mean we're almost 40.
they try to steal that happiness from you, and it's like, oh, you found what? I know my own father. He said about the tarot. He was like, you know what?
Thank you, Phoenix.
Sometimes when you chase the bear, you know the bear will get you. And I told him, I go, I am the bear. That's my spiritual animal. So I mean, we're just on two totally different pages.
I just had a dream about a bear. Oh, weird.
It came to you, huh?
Very cool. Very cool.
As a bear.
I'm a bit birdish myself, but whatever. No, yeah. No, I've had the bear come to me many times.
Your mom's a bear too, remember that?
Yeah, my mom is a bear. That's funny. This guy. I want to have him on here more often, especially for my divine masculines. You know, I feel like this path right now of spiritual enlightenment and ascension is a lot easier for us feminines. And I say us just because it's about 80% out there right now listening to this channel that are feminine. For the divine feminines, it's a much easier right now for us to step into this path without judgment or any kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Preconceived notions?
Yeah. It's so much easier for us to step into because we already are here for love and to spread love. For men, it's more about breaking down old constructs, right? Breaking down those old constructs so that love can shine through and not feel like weakness. It is truly your power. Okay. But for you, as a brother right now, you feel maybe in darkness.
You don't have to fear the darkness either.
That is the thing to step into.
Right.
That's where your power lies.
Find it, right?
And in fact, you know, I think we should read this in our closeout.
The hermit makes his light in darkness. So.
I'm gonna read that if I can find it. She's like, her energy is really intense right now. It's like giving me a kink in my neck.
I'm diffusing it.
She's like,
she chewed on my hand for a little bit.
Do y'all see her? Hold on. Look at her. She's like, oh my goodness gracious.
I had her by the ears at one point.
I've been in hermit mode too, Phoenix. Me too. I've had to do it.
Years almost.
Yeah. And we have to. So when you guys see me go dark, this, I don't know what's going on with my hair today. Sorry. When you guys see me go dark, if you're my soul tribe, right? So take that as maybe a notification. It's time for me to go dark too. You know, and I'm not saying that's always going to be the case. I'm not saying judge everything you're doing by what I'm doing. I'm just saying sometimes spirit pulls me out of your life so that you will start doing. You know, me and Kyle were talking about earlier how much people can start counting on these tarot readings. Yeah. I don't want to be that for you. I am not, you know, that's trying to be someone's God. I'm not your spirit guide. I'm here to help deliver messages. So spirit may pull me out so that you will start acting and you will start looking at the ugly. I can talk about it, but we got to start doing it. And I'm going through it with you.
Yeah, I was telling her, I haven't watched the tarot read since last year. I got to where it was almost obsessing about it. It's just being aware of me. And now it's almost like sometimes I find myself running to my tarot cards and it's like, wait a second. Go within, Kyle, kind of meditate, see what's going on. The tarot cards are there to guide you, but they're not there to decide your path. Right? Even the runes told me that today too.
Ingrid, sister, I feel you all the time. It's funny how many of you out there have been in my soul tribe for a long time. And I feel your energies, and I can't tell you how many of you have been in my dreams, and I'm not even sure if you know it, or I've been in your dreams. Okay, Brothers in Darkness. I want to read a little bit of this. Apparently, the is important.
You want to clean my feet? Go for it, girl.
She's licking her toes.
Tickles. I got a cut on there. Why don't you clean the cut?
Ooh, that's so weird, you guys. I just turned to Temple of Lapis Lazuli, so I'm going to read the beginning of that because we said it how many times earlier? 22 viewers right now. Cool. Goddess of the ancient skies, your soul is very ancient. That's you. Beloved, and does not only herald from the earth. It holds so much special wisdom of star peoples from civilizations far and near, with unique high vibrational awareness that can help humanity transition from a civilization based in fear to a love-based culture. You are guided to come deeper acceptance of your own inner knowing now.
Wow.
Cool. That's our brothers. So Brother in Darkness says, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move more deeply into our feminine divine power. The Brother in Darkness indicates that there is a negative energy either within you or outside of you, but directed towards you, that is providing you with a spiritual test, beloved initiate. You shall overcome this energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. There is a test that you are currently moving through because you are ready to progress more deeply into wisdom, light, and acceptance and inner peace. This test is a guise of negative energy. This test is a guise of negative energy. Source either within you or apparently outside of you. I like that. Either within you or apparently outside of you. In truth, we are all one.
Amen.
The world is our mirror. How did you start this reading? The world is our mirror for whatever healing task lies within you. Even though sometimes the source of difficulty appears to be external, rather than an opportunity for us to gain mastery within our own responses through our inner healing.
Well, there's source.
There's source. So I hope that
got Emmy on tears, girl. What the heck?
I have changed inside. I feel it. Phoenix Lotus. Or I'm sorry, who was it? Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful, you guys. I feel I'm getting out of my funk too, Phoenix. You guys have seen I've obviously been in a funk, but let's we got to think of a new word for that funk because that's truly inner healing. That's truly spirit forcing us to go within.
Lean into it, yes.
Yes, lean into it.
Don't run from it. That's the time you need to slow
dip
down and
into
see
it. Dip
where
into
is
it.
this coming from? What in me is screaming this? You know, it's not always the situation or what you think it is. Sometimes it's something outside of that. If you're willing to go there, you know what I mean? That's my thing when I came to understanding of past lives and learning that I was empathetic, you know, an empath and picking up on others' emotions. But ultimately, even if it is somebody else's emotion, you drew that into your life. You know, we all came down here with a purpose and a plan, and we set all these players on our game board to kind of meet, you know, and it's just a reflection of yourself trying to show you something in you need to work out. So.
On the game board, right, to meet already.
It's the game of life. I mean, that's what we're living. I mean,
I win every time.
That one thing I gotta say is just don't take yourself too seriously, too. I mean, there's an old Zen proverb that says, wake up every morning and look in the mirror and laugh at yourself. I mean,
every day.
Right.
Every day.
So,
y'all, I started like posting all these pictures on my Instagram about my hair in the morning because of this crazy haircut. Sometimes it looks like I'm a who, and sometimes it's like, I'm like, hey, here's my crazy morning hair adventure today. But you know what? Sometimes I look like Flock of Seagulls. Did y'all ever watch that? Or listen to that music? Because I totally can pull off Flock of Seagulls. And I'll do that maybe till my next reading. I'll pull off a Flock of Seagulls hairdo. Yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, you have to.
Like something about Mary.
I don't have the juice for that. So the point is, though, he's right. Laugh. We've got to laugh. And what did I say in this morning's reading? We got this Saturday, the 25th is the Chinese New Year. Okay. And this is going to be about really, it's time to, the Chinese New Year is about stepping into this whole week should be positive thoughts and positive energy.
You're the rat.
You're the rat. And it's also about having those positive, the Chinese New Year is about setting your intentions for the year to come. So what you're thinking this week is going to be very prevalent in this year to come. Okay, so keep your thoughts on joy, not about wanting something, okay, because that's an attitude of scarcity. Okay, you're not pulling it to you, you are putting yourself in the frequency that it already is. You understand? You're not pulling it in, you don't need anything. You are putting yourself into the frequency of what you already have. You understand? It's tuning into that radio station.
And that's me. I always say, it's like I have these visions of things, and it's like I'm already there. It's just playing catch up, and taking the time.
And divine timing and free will of others.
Right. That's
it's
one
not
thing.
Just you in this universe.
Exactly, and that's the thing with the free will down here. Everybody has their own choice, and it's like sometimes...
down here. The free will down here is just crazy. All right, y'all are getting too much power.
I'm a multi-dimensional being in a human vessel. I'm pure consciousness having a soul experience here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As a human, I've been a Sasquatch before. I almost look like
you kind of do right now. Yeah, you're definitely pulling that past life back in. He's not always been so. I always call him, well, Jesus. I'm like, hey, it's Jesus. He's like, not call me Jesus.
Jesus. I'm more akin to Judas, but that's a past life I'm overcoming.
This guy will blow your minds. So I want to definitely have him back on the channel. If you have any questions right now, shoot me an email. I will be forwarding some to him that I think that...
Werewolf.
I totally see werewolf. Wait, who was that? Phoenix Lotus. Yeah. Werewolf, I think, here in a past life. I think he was too. See, I and Nina, y'all were probably the same pack. And you have the same, I don't know, energy.
Well,
I don't know how to explain
the berserkers with the Vikings. They had the wolves, the warthogs, and the bear.
This is when he loses me. Go ahead. I don't know if you don't know what he's talking about.
The berserkers were the shamans of the Vikings.
Oh, Jesus, I like how you said that. I'm sorry. I don't know if you meant to say that or if you were texting, but look, she said, LOL, Jesus, like Dr. Seuss. I don't know if that was on purpose, and I thought that was hilarious. Looks like Thor. Ooh, that's nice. That's a definite compliment.
Which one?
Fat Thor, or you don't have a single gram of fat.
Oh,
he
you know what
so
I was.
Oh yes,
I've lost over 100 pounds.
Over 100 pounds since. Oh my gosh! And how long?
Oh, it was when I was with my ex-wife.
Yeah, so that's crazy. But it's been insane, you guys. Like the transformation. Even since when I saw you, it's been like 20 pounds, right? Or
yoga. Everybody's like, "What's your plan?" I was like, "You don't want it. It's fasting, because I've been on, like she said, I've been through some hard stuff, and losing my ex-partner to somebody, and I was really close to me, and it just put me in a thing where it didn't matter how much weed I smoked, I couldn't get hungry."
And that's another thing I want to have a video on is the 420, the smoking of marijuana, whether legal or not for you, for medicinal purposes, and when it's time to back off, and when it's blocking spirit. I feel like
they asked me to get it all up this year, so
yeah.
I'm off of it. I'm on that Kundalini yoga, riding that high. Woo! And we talked about breath work earlier. I'm telling you that there's.
He didn't even watch the live feed today, so he doesn't know how much this is all resonating with what I spoke about earlier. I even talked about the tantric ride of the breath work and harnessing sexual energy, and that's what we talked about earlier today. Wow. So he's got a lot of great info on that.
Right in my boat.
Yeah, so it's funny because he didn't even know why he showed up today, and I didn't either, but it all worked out, and it's just so funny if you watch my live today, how much of this ties into a lot of what I said in the live reading today. Thank you so much for being here and for doing this.
It's always a pleasure.
Oh, you're so amazing. He has so much wisdom and knowledge to share, and I think that we could sit here and talk all night, and you would we will continue. I promise this will continue with us, but the rabbit holes that we have gone down, sometimes we'll just look at each other like, oh, maybe it's time to come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of rabbit shit down there.
So
Love you too.
Yeah,
Thank you so
lots
much.
of loves. Definitely a brother in our soul tribe. We'll have him back on soon. If you guys are interested in the rune class, let me know. We will have him back on and guide us in some runes. And if you're interested in having runes made, okay. If you would like to contact Kyle and ask him some more questions on divine masculine or anything like that, please email me and I will be screening them, but I'm going to forward them to him. And the reason I'm saying that is just because he's doing this just out of the goodness of his heart. And so I'm going to be sending him, what I mean is I'm going to be sending him messages that are going to be enhancing the collective and enhancing the group. Okay. So, I hope you understand what I mean there.
I'm working on a channel, but it's divine timing.
It
My
is.
guides let me know when
he will be starting a channel, and we will totally be supporting that. So this is sort of a jumping off point for him. Not that we actually have discussed that, but I really want to be a part of what he's starting up. So look at me inserting myself into his path like this. We all have to work together though, y'all. Okay? It's about working together. Okay, my soul tribe. Brothers and sisters, I love you so much. What's he starting? That's again part of the divine timing work. He's kind of like working it all in. It's gonna be runes
with
huge,
like my
right?
story pretty much. So
and he plays guitar. He's an amazing guitar player. He writes music.
I do channeling, so it's just gonna be all over the place. It's just whatever
Spirit's saying to say.
Yeah, spirits, source, creators, gods, goddesses, angels, ascended masters. I just let them all kind of use me as a vessel.
Absolutely. The flute. I want to learn to play the flute too.
The skin flute.
The skin flute.
Sorry, I'm going off.
The flute calls to you. That's awesome.
Sorry, I'm bad.
Stop. Yes, runes. I'm interested in runes too, Ingrid. Big time, sister. Okay, awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for attending tonight. 22 likes. Beautiful. You guys like and subscribe. It's like tipping. If you go to the links below, we have all the we used here, the Isis Oracle deck. And I am also going to be putting those books that I mentioned earlier into the community tab. Okay. So check out the community tab in just a minute or two, and they will be in there. Let's see, anything else? No, that's it. Okay. So I love you all. It's really weird not closing with Nako, so I gotta sing a little Nako. They say, don't waste your hate. Rather gather and create. Be of service. Be a sensible person. Use your words and don't be nervous. You can do this. You've got purpose. Find your medicine and use it. Love you, Soul Tribe. Catch you on the flip side. Yes.